AI does not fix bad data, it amplifies it.
When you start with the underlying data and the value of what you can create with that, and then think about ways that AI can accelerate that, that's where you're driving significant progress.
Don't just say, I want to adopt AI. Start by trying to understand what is it that I'm trying to achieve.
AI only scales when the data is treated as foundational to how an enterprise runs, not just a one-off program. So think of data as the connective tissue for the enterprise. AI only works when that tissue is strong, healthy, and connected.
When we think about how to use AI or even machine learning or any sort of automation, you need to start with an effective data foundation. And with that, you need to understand, what is the cleanliness of my data? What is my governance approach? How do I actually have an operating model that can deliver the information in a way that AI can then use it?
The biggest area that we see clients fall short is, they have a lot of people focused on academic, theoretical data governance concepts, but they don't have enough expertise in truly understanding the underlying data that they have in their organization and how to use it. Having data teams that truly understand the business and the underlying data that the business is using at the most granular level and how that ties into business performance is one of the largest fundamental things that we see companies struggling with to scale their data strategies.
What we've seen early in the market with regards to AI is that there was always a focus on, how do I save cost? How do I do all that sort of stuff? What we see now, and what we've seen in other evolutions in business as time has gone by, is using it not as a way to reduce, but as a way to increase, right? So when we think about AI and we think about machine learning, what we want to try and think of for the business outcomes is a focus on scalability. How do we create this so that our business can grow without having to increase costs? How do we have a more efficient outcome beyond that sort of cost reduction?
The highest ROI is companies that are really learning to use their data to enhance the value of their client relationships and sell more work into their clients, expand the share of wallet with their clients, target the right clients, increase close rates. That's hands down the highest ROI that we're seeing with our clients.
The real value of AI comes from changing how work gets done and how decisions are made. Always start with the outcomes you're trying to achieve, but measure the impact and not just the speed and the cost savings. AI should simplify work, not complicate it. If the customer and employee experience degrade, the AI initiative will fail regardless of the metrics. Without trusted, consistent data and clear governance, AI is just going to deliver more noise than insights and ultimately undermines the confidence in the outcomes that you get. AI does not fix bad data, it amplifies it. You can't measure, for example, customer profitability if you can't agree on the definition of a customer.
The two things we've seen so far in the big push around AI that's created stalls. One is the wrong expectations, like not trying to understand what we're trying to do here, what's the business outcome and all that sort of stuff. But I think the second and more fundamental thing that we see throughout is that the organization has not set itself up for success, right? It hasn't created the appropriate foundation or layer around its data.
The biggest reason we see AI initiatives fail is that organizations have too much bureaucracy, too much red tape, and too much governance around the way that they're using their data and AI. And we certainly don't advocate for AI without governance. But the trick for an organization is, how can you build a scalable AI strategy that has the appropriate controls and governance without slowing down the business, without hurting innovation, because that's when you lose buy-in. Every organization needs to have a balance of both internal and external support. The unique thing about AI is that it enables people that don't traditionally have a software engineering, technology, data background to really harness the power of advanced capabilities. The people that are sitting within your organization are the ones that really know where the value sits and where the best focus is to unlock value in the underlying data that you have in your organization. Galvanizing those types of people around the opportunities that AI provides is what is really going to drive adoption across the organization.
It comes down to depth and breadth, right? Do we have the capacity to take this on? Do we have the capability in our team to be able to do this? And what we found is that given the nature of how fast this is moving and given this real specificity of skills, consulting is very important in sort of trying to look at the long-term strategy and innovation of this, right? Like starting that flywheel off and helping build the, that foundation and building the blocks so that we can empower organizations to own it moving forward.
External partners can help teams jumpstart an initiative and move faster by bringing in industry perspectives and proven experience while partnering with you to build that right size internal capability. So borrow that experience, build the capability, and own the outcome. The right partner is going to help you accelerate that progress without creating a dependency.